I just want to make sure. July 21st was a Sunday. We've had 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 1 day since Joe Biden stepped aside. The only damn place we've seen Kamala Harris is at pep rallies. What's up? Somebody got to say something. And it can't just be the conservatives. Right is right. I'm talking to my sister here. Come on now. You're going to intensify and elevate the importance of securing our borders. Were you always that way? You no longer support a national ban on fracking. Also, you no longer support the elimination of private health insurance. Is it true that one time you supported those things? When did your mind change? How long ago was that? When were you going to tell the American people? Why'd you keep it from everybody? And yes, it is a legitimate question. How much did you know about Joe Biden and the slippage, the cognitive decline that so many people have alluded to on both sides of the aisle now? Did you ever feel compelled to tell anybody? I know you didn't want to come out and dime them out publicly, but privately, were you working behind the scenes? Did you tell folks about this? Did you talk to Joe Biden himself about that? These are legitimate questions.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the pressure that is currently being put on the Kamala Harris campaign for Kamala to answer some questions, okay? And the reason why is because you have Trump going out and answering questions even in venues in arenas that aren't friendly towards him, like the black journalist event in which he dragged the scrotum all over the liberal black women reporters that were trying to press him as soon as the man walked in the room, okay? And there's a lot of people that didn't like the way Trump handled it, but a lot of people respect it, okay? You might not like it, but you have to respect the cojones on Trump, okay? This man probably has the biggest cojones in this country, and that is something that I believe most people can see, even if you hate Trump. But Trump basically is not afraid to go into any venue or to have any conversation with anybody, okay? He just did a conversation with Elon Musk in which we've talked about the mainstream liberal media losing their minds, melting down over this conversation. And one of the reasons why is not just Elon Musk giving Trump a platform where they can just have an open discussion and it gets 20 plus million views in less than 24 hours, which would never happen on any mainstream liberal media outlet. But also on top of that, Elon Musk represents the moderate that actually has some common sense, okay? He's a guy that understands, you know what? I might not like everything about Trump, but when it comes to policy, when it comes to what actually really matters in this country, Trump is clearly the best choice, okay? And that is what really scares the mainstream liberal media about somebody like Elon Musk coming out and unequivocally endorsing Trump, because he actually has the cojones to do it. On the other hand, you have other individuals like Stephen A, who tries to pretend as if he's some moderate, but he's really a Democrat Party shill, okay? He simps on behalf of the Democrat Party while pretending to be a critical thinker. And I'm about to show you guys a prime example of why I say that Stephen A. Smith is not a critical thinker. And also on top of that, just like Kamala Harris, he's also afraid, which is why it's ironic that Stephen A. Smith is calling out Kamala Harris for being afraid of the media. But Stephen A. is actually afraid to come out and say that, hey, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat, because this guy's logic and reasoning behind calling out Kamala Harris, but still openly supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that he doesn't actually know what she believes, tells you everything you need to know about this guy. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people in this country like Stephen A. Smith, and that's the problem. So without further ado, let's get into it.
A New York Times/Siena College poll released Saturday shows Vice President Kamala Harris leading former President Donald Trump in 3 key swing states. The poll, conducted between August 5th and August 9th, found that if the election were held today, 50% of voters among the likely electorate in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania would choose Harris, while 46% say they would choose Donald Trump. The Harris campaign has gotten a boost since President Joe Biden dropped out of the race last month, July 21st to be exact, and endorsed his VP. She's raised more than $300 million and has drawn Trump-like crowds at rally stops in Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada. Before I get to my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, let me show y'all this poll to juxtapose what was transpiring in June, national poll, August 12th, has Harris up 48% to 47% for Trump. That's as of today. Okay? That's what the national poll average is showing.
Now, you got to keep in mind, context. This is pretty damn good for Trump, considering how in 2016, 2020, he was doing worse than this at this same period of time. Also, this is within the margin of error. And if the election was held today, even with this result right here, Trump would more than likely still win, right? So keep that in mind. He underperforms in the polls, and he especially underperforms in the Rust Belt in the polls, right? I don't think these polling organizations really have a good grasp of how to properly poll Trump supporters in the Rust Belt, and that is why Trump significantly outperforms these polls when it comes time to vote, right? So again, keep all this in mind, okay? The media is hyping up Harris, but she's really not doing that good compared to where she should be doing, and also considering how there's been nothing but positive press coverage for her from the day that she got into the race.
Less than 2 months ago, June 28th, Trump had a 5-point lead. Okay? So let's understand something. Let's understand this right now. This is a beautiful thing. If you're a Democrat, you're a leftist, because you're looking at it, in my opinion, all wrong. Let me be the first to say that doesn't mean shit to me. It means nothing to me. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to decide whether you're trying to win or not. And whether you truly believe you deserve to win. Now, I've been on the record. I'm going to support my sister Kamala Harris, HBCU grad just like myself, Vice President of the United States of America, former Attorney General for the state of California, former District Attorney in the city of San Francisco. I see what folks have been saying, not all, not most, but some folks have been trying to say about her. You understand, questioning her intellect and all of this other stuff. Now, I ain't going for that. We ain't going to get into the questioning her ethnicity either. You don't sit up there and get to tell us if we got a speck of black in our blood, then guess what? We black. But then all of a sudden, she's running for the president of the United States. And you want to ask questions, is she black or is she Indian? I don't know. No, we don't get to do that.
Well, I mean, that's on her, Stephen A. I mean, that's not on us. I mean, this is the media saying that she's black because she has one drop of black blood in her. I'm not saying that. Nobody's saying that. In fact, Kamala was running as an Indian up until she decided to run for president, which is the actual argument that is being made. Clearly, Stephen A. Smith doesn't really understand that. But again, it's not conservatives that are the ones that are out here claiming that Kamala Harris is so pro-blackity black, right? That's actually the left, okay? But regardless, let's continue.
We ain't doing that, all right? But having said all of that, fair is fair. Fair is fair to independents out there. Fair is fair to conservatives and Republicans out there. There's certain things that we have to hold both sides to. Now, Joe Biden stepped aside as the presumptive Democratic nominee on July 21st, okay? Now, I'm going to look at this right now. I'm looking at my calendar because I just want to make sure. You know, July 21st was a Sunday. We've had 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 1 day since Joe Biden stepped aside. The only damn place we've seen Kamala Harris is at pep rallies. What's up? Somebody got to say something. And it can't just be the conservatives. Right is right. I'm talking to my sister here. Come on now. You running for the presidency of the United States of America. You got my vote. You running for the presidency of the United States of America. What you hiding for? And I mean hiding in plain sight. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. Now, you can't be running for the presidency of the United States. Not one single press conference. Not one single one-on-one sit-down interview where somebody gets to question you about the questions that we ask. That's not fair. That's not fair. And if you're a conservative and you out there lambasting her for it, ridiculing her for it, trying to torment her for it or whatever, it is perfectly within your right to do so. All of you anti-conservatives out there, shut the hell up. That's a valid point. It ain't valid to bring up a blackness or an Indian heritage and to try to point to things of that nature. That's nonsense. But to ask her about her record, because she is attached to the Biden record, is definitely apropos, especially when you were bragging about the record. We talked about Biden being a transformative president. Well, stand on it then. Stand on it. Where you at? No George Stephanopoulos, no Meet the Press, no State of the Union. What's up? No Face the Nation, no Politico, no MSNBC. I understand why you wouldn't do Fox. Liberals don't really do Fox, just like conservatives don't really do MSNBC.
No, that's not true. Conservatives do MSNBC way more than liberals do Fox, right? But yeah, I want you guys to understand how silly Stephen A. Smith sounds. And I'm not entirely sure, again, why is it that you have people like Stephen A. and Charlamagne the Devil giving these very silly takes about supporting Kamala Harris, but it's very clear that they have no effing clue whatsoever why they're supporting Kamala Harris outside of her race. That's it. That's it. And outside the fact she's a Democrat, that's it. Because Stephen A. is literally saying, yeah, you haven't answered any questions. You haven't done any press conferences. Why are you hiding? But he's also saying, you got my vote. Right? So again, that does not make Kamala Harris want to come out and to do interviews, right? How can you say that you have to do interviews, you have to talk to the press? How can you demand that while at the same time saying, well, you got my vote? Well, if she got your vote, then why the hell does she need to answer questions? And see, that's the problem with these individuals. They're giving away their vote to people who didn't even earn it. Trump goes out and he tries to earn people's votes, okay? He talks. He's open. He's transparent. Democrats are not transparent. They gaslight. They lie. They're not transparent at all. They hide things. They trick you. They fool you. Their policies are terrible. But yet Stephen A., who's clearly upset about this, well, you still got my vote. I'm still going to vote for you. So you're telling her that she don't really actually need to talk to the media. It doesn't matter because fools like you are going to vote for her anyways, regardless of whether or not you know what the hell she stands for. And this is the problem, guys. This is the problem with the so-called moderate, okay? Again, I don't have a problem with moderates who are critical thinkers, who understand that, hey, you know, it doesn't logically make sense for me to vote for Kamala Harris if I know that Trump's policies are better. I have no problems with that moderate. The moderate I do have problems with is the moderate that openly admits, yeah, Trump's policies were better, but I just don't like Trump. I don't like him as a person, so therefore I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. So basically what you're saying is that F the country, my feelings about a man matters more than the policies of the man that I know is the best for the country. Again, it's amazing how that works. I can't stand that. I absolutely cannot stand it. I cannot stand the idea of somebody who's on the fence, who knows that Trump is the right choice, but decide not to vote for Trump because of things that have nothing to do with actual policy. A bunch of things that have nothing to do with the state of the country. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I think Stephen A. Smith is in that boat. I think Stephen A. knows that Trump's policies are better. He's talked about it. He's talked about how things were better under the Trump administration. But every single time he has to let the world know, I'm voting Democrat. I'm still voting for Biden. Kamala ain't answering no questions, but I'm going to vote for her anyways. So again, why should they have to earn your vote? Why should Kamala answer any questions? Because she knows she has dummies like Stephen A. Smith out there that are going to support her no matter what. And this is the problem with almost half the country, guys. The vote blue no matter who mentality is destroying this country. This guy is brainwashed into voting blue no matter. He doesn't even realize what he's saying makes no sense. You can't come out here and demand Kamala Harris do interviews, but yet state that, oh, you got my vote. That makes sense. So your demands are essentially worthless, right? They're empty demands. It doesn't really make sense.
You're welcome to the Stephen A. Smith Show. I will gladly interview Donald Trump. I will gladly interview Kamala Harris. Name the time or place. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll show up. Anytime. And I'm no political aficionado. I'm going to need fact checkers. I don't know everything that y'all going to say, but I know this much. I know how to ask the questions that Americans want to know. Kamala Harris, there are certain things that we have to ask you a question about.
No, you don't, Stephen A. She already got your vote, right? So, no. That's not how it works, Stephen A. She already got your vote. So there are not certain things that you have to ask her about because she's already got your vote. So, again, why would she capitulate to your demands? Doesn't make sense.
Simply no way of getting around certain things.
Yes, it is. She already got your vote. She already got around it. Again, this guy's a fool, right? He's a complete fool.
Weren't you against fracking? Is that true? And now you're for it? Just asking. These are important questions to think about.
Obviously not, because again, you already told her, yeah, I'm going to vote for you no matter what. Okay, it doesn't matter if you answer questions. Which again, it's just so funny. It's sad. Right? It really is. It is sad that we have fools like Stephen A. Smith who have a mic who say things that are so silly. And for as intelligent as I believe that Stephen A. Smith could be, okay, if he actually used his brain, unfortunately, again, the vote blue no matter who, the Trump derangement is clouding his judgment, right? He doesn't understand that what he's saying doesn't make any sense, okay? You're not in a position to demand anything as long as you're telling people that you're going to get my vote no matter what. Again, that's just... it's ridiculous, right? It's nonsense. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.